So this is so much fun. I love mastermind groups. I love seeing everybody together. We're all friends, or we're going to be friends, and we're going to figure out this called money together. I'm convinced this is the group that's going to crack the code on leadership. That's going to take all of your businesses to the next level. I just, not to put her on the spot, just got a message from Ashley Odenmuller, new mama here, who is kicking freaking butt so far this year. I'm very excited to have her kind of talk about what she's doing, kind of just ripped off the Band-Aid and is going full force. We're excited about what she has to say. But I believe all of you have what it takes to be successful this year. 2017, yep, right out the window. Let's move on to 2018 and have a very successful year. And it's going to happen because you guys are going to make it happen. So the homework assignment, maybe just give you an overview of how I kind of want this group to go for the next. I think I have this all going all the way up until Summit, up until June. I want this to be a full-fledged, healthy group going on. This is not a sit around, show up, gonna do this, and watch somebody talk about how amazing they are at inviting. This is going to be very much an interactive group where I really do expect you guys to chime in, speak up, and to participate. This is round 2 of leadership. We just finished round 1 masterminds. Many of you were on that group. It went very well. They were very successful calls. And I hope that you guys took away some great things when it comes to leadership and how to lead people. It was very interesting. The other day, Doug Moss, who's over the West region, pulled me into his office, and he had a bunch of things paper covering his whiteboard, and except for one blank spot, he said, Kevin, I want you to tell me the top 5 things you talk about on your calls. You work with the 3 to 8 star diamonds. Tell me what you talk about on your calls. And so I told him my top 5 things, and then he revealed other things. And it is so fascinating. The associate managers who work with Diamond to 2-star, they had completely different things that they talk about with their coaches. 3 to 8 is completely different, and from 9 to 15 is completely different. It's fascinating but it makes sense because we go through these stages, and we're all, at the very beginning, it's very hard to talk leadership when you don't have things set in place. If you don't know how to wake up in the morning and get things done, then we're in stage 1. And that's where a lot of the Diamond to 2 stars are, and that's what the associates talk about. How do you make sure that they get things set up perfectly so that they can run the business? For now, for 3 to 8, guys, it's all about leadership. It's all about not only doing what you can do, but influencing others to do it. And then from 9 and 15, yeah, whatever. You guys talk about whatever you need to talk about. But this is where we talk about leadership. And so I'm very excited about this. So homework assignments are going to be a regular thing. Where you're going to come to the call with expectations. And in fact, what I would love to do is at the end of certain calls, we're going to give you the assignment and then the follow-up. You're going to try that for 2 weeks. And then at the beginning of the next call, you're going to give us kind of a small report of, here's what I tried. I talked to these people. Here are the kind of results I got. And that's kind of how our calls are going to be run. I'm not going to do much of the talking. This is very much you guys doing the talking. But today is kind of an easy day. It's kind of like the first day of college class where you kind of just talk about stuff. But for us, I want to make sure we all get to know each other well. And the homework assignment was, and please don't hold back on this, the homework assignment was to come prepared with something that you feel you do good or you do well at when it comes to leadership, and then somewhere an area where you feel like you could improve on. This is not and most of you will be like, I don't know what I'm good at, but here's what I'm horrible at. Don't do that. You all made it to this point somehow. You're good at something when it comes to leadership. And then yes, we can talk about the areas of improvement. I'm going to write these down because these are going to be our topics for our leadership series. Hopefully this piques your interest. So I'll just do from left to right, top to bottom. Casey to P, you jumped on first. You get to start us off. And because there's so many of us on here, I want to make sure we stay to about 40, 45 minutes, so be conscious of time.
Hey guys. So I guess my strength when it comes to leadership is that I genuinely care about my coach's success and my challenger's success, but I think that's like a a blessing and a curse, because I found that I don't give enough tough love to my coaches, and I have a really hard time cutting the cord with people because I've established a friendship with them. And so that has been something really challenging for me, to kind of put the leadership glasses on more, and still be a friend and still show that I care, but still get a little tough love going too, show up for your business. I can't do everything for you, sort of thing.
And I forgot to tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, a little bit about me. I live in Western New York, about an hour south of Buffalo. It's cold AF, and I just got internet after 7 years of not having it. And so that makes up for it being cold.
And you are a former teacher?
Yes, former teacher. I taught second grade, and I have 2 kids. They are 4 and 3, and I just kept extending my maternity leave, stumbled upon coaching, and now I coach full-time. I never end up going back to the classroom. So, big blessing.
She's awesome. Okay, good. Megan Ziegler, you're up next. A little bit about yourself, strengths, weaknesses.
I'm from Delaware, and I have a little boy. He is 4. He's in school full time. I used to be a registered nurse, but now I am home and do Beachbody. Kind of my things were a little bit similar. I feel that I'm good leadership wise in like getting people trained to do the appropriate things right, as long as they'll do them. But that being said too, I probably fail as a leader in having systems in place for all of that. Kind of just fly by the seat of my pants. And when new coaches come in and our team is growing, we just give them what they need and all the support and knowledge, but we don't really have a system for it. So kind of twofold, but the same thing.
I like that a lot. That's something that we're definitely going to be talking about when it comes to supporting our coaches, especially when they first jump on, how to set them up for success. Great. Meredith, you are up next.
All right. Hello, everyone. Can you guys hear me okay? Cool. All right. So I live just north of Boston, like 25, 30 minutes north. Not from here originally, so I don't have a Boston accent. I just got married in October, so I'm still getting used to the new last name. But I am a full-time coach now, formerly a database technology sales manager for Oracle. I left that job in June of 2016, and all of last year was basically an adjustment to being a full-time coach and feeling like I had all of the time in the world, but really not. So I'm a full-time dog mama as well. No actual babies on the way yet. But again, as a leader, I'm still kind of trying to figure this all out. I feel like I should know this by now. I've been a coach for about 3.5 years. But I'd say my big strength with my team is similar to what, is it Casey or Cassie? Casey said. Like being really, I care about my coaches almost too much sometimes, where I get really invested in like a few people and forget to keep recruiting and keep my numbers up from a personal business standpoint. So that's kind of a weakness where I feel like I've been lacking in terms of leading from the front lately, because I've been really almost in management mode with my team. But I feel like I'm really good at knowing what they need, like empathy. Like I feel what they're feeling and I know what they're going through. So in terms of team calls and bringing up topics or talking to them, they're always like, oh my God, are you a mind reader? Like I was literally just thinking about this. So I feel like I'm really good at that. And I'm also very good at being independent. I've pretty much built my business and figured it all out myself. But sometimes on the flip side of that, it's a weakness because I expect my team to do the same thing. I do have resources and things built for them, but sometimes I'm good at motivating them, but actually getting them to carry that through to action and keep sustaining that motivation is where I feel I'm lacking as a leader. So I think that's it. That
was perfectly said. That's something that we talk about all the time with my coaches, is that blasted word, assumption. That because we're gonna work our butts off and we're gonna assume that everybody's gonna follow suit.
Right. And going to what Megan said, I feel like I do have some good systems in place. So if you need some advice or help there, I'm happy to share what I've done. And the people that take advantage of that do have success. But sometimes I'm like, what the heck? It's all here for you. But then they like don't do it. So I think kind of pulling myself out of that emotionally and knowing that you can't necessarily force someone to do something. They have to want to do it themselves. I think that's really, really important.
Yes, I love that. Fun fact about Meredith, part of her honeymoon included Beachbody leadership. That's not very sexy, but that's fine.
Nothing screams romance more than Vegas.
We were happy to have you.
It was really fun, though. We had a great time.
Good. Lil, you're up next.
Hi guys, I live in Central Mass, and I have 2 kids, and of course they had a half day of school and the plumber is at my house. Isn't that what always happens when we have these important calls? And I am a former nurse, and I coach full-time for the past 2.5 years. So my strength is definitely, I thought about growth. I'm obsessed with my own growth, and I really encourage that with my team as far as adapting and changing, because with social media and the new things that Beachbody puts out, there's always pushback from coaches to start complaining about changes. And I always try to be solution focused and say this is a chance for growth and to go through obstacles. And I feel like I always lose people along the way, but I don't let those. I've learned what doesn't work, and it doesn't work to let the people who don't have that same vision as you hold you back from going where you want to go. And that was my huge lesson from 2017. And I really love to share. I just share what works with my team, and it's always changing, and I have systems in place, but I encourage them to try new things and use my systems, and we run things together as a team to really encourage confidence and help them with small wins. And my weakness is sharing the coach opportunity. And I've been reading the Second Badass book and realizing that I have a lot of hangups about money and not sharing with my team what my true income was. And I've started doing that. And that's been a very interesting process, I would say. So sharing what is truly possible with the coach opportunity.
Is it a good, interesting process, sharing all this?
Well, it's interesting to see who's inspired and who, I don't know. I got messages from my coaches. I can't believe you made that much in 1 week. It just doesn't seem possible for me. And then another coach who was like, damn girl, I'm going to make that, you know? So it was just, I thought, okay, well, this kind of draws a line in the sand. Like, you're either going to be inspired by it, or you're going to be, if it makes you feel bad, then, you know, are you going to take that action to get there? It was just an interesting process. And I want to work with people who are inspired. I mean, what are they going to do when they see Lindsay Matway's weekly paycheck? Like, seriously, it should be something to strive for. I've always strived and thought that was amazing coaches who share that.
Ooh, we got some good topics going. This is going to be an awesome group. Thank you so much for sharing. Ashley Odenweiler, you are up.
Hi guys, I'm Ashley, obviously. I'm a new mom. She's rattling on the floor next to me, so I'm chilling in our workout room because she was attempting to nap. I have been a coach for 5 years. I feel like I am an OG in this business sometimes. So one of my strengths as a leader is I am very consistent, and I show up daily. I showed up my entire pregnancy, hit Success Club 20 throughout the entire thing. I show up. If I expect my coaches to add to the team, I'm adding to the team. If I'm expecting them to be on team calls, I'm on team calls. But one of the things my life I struggle with is I'm a go-getter. I don't let other people tell me what to do. I don't wait for them to tell me what to do. I have no upline. So I've done this entire business myself. So I kind of expect my coaches to do the same thing. I'm not a coddler. I don't hold hands. That's not my personality. But I've learned I can't expect my coaches to be the same way. So I'm learning that people can't always do tough love and do it on their own. So one of the things I'm really, really focusing on this year is trainings. I don't do new coach calls. I don't do getting started right calls. I know horrible, but I'm doing that this year. And since I've implemented that, our team has definitely seen a huge improvement, which I just shared with Kevin earlier. So I'm working on those weaknesses.
And she's seeing great strides so far, which is so much fun. Great. Okay, thank you, Ashley. Kaylee, you're up.
Hey everyone. So I'm Kaylee. I've been in the business about 4 years. I went 5-star, like 2 years ago in July and haven't, or maybe like a year ago in July, but haven't really grown in 2017 at all. I have 3 kids, almost 4. I have a baby due in July. So I've been in a kind of like a slump because of the first trimester slump, which has never happened to me before. So I'm kind of taken off guard lately, but I'm coming out of it and I'm on fire with a ton of excitement. So as a leader, though, I feel like I'm really disciplined and focused. So when I have a goal, I work a ton at it, and I will do those little 12 steps in order to get there, and I'll break it down into little simple goals, and I'll write a checklist out, and I'll be able to give that system down to my team. So I'm really organized with systems, and sometimes when I'm so focused on putting a training together, I'll forget to do my vitals, or sometimes I'll be so in tune to inviting, I won't worry about checking in that training. So that's one of the things I struggle with. I'm a servant leader, so I tend to really put others first. And then I also struggle with being a team player, if that makes any sense, because sometimes I'm just like, oh, I'll just do it, and I'll do that post really quick instead of like getting other people involved. So I'm really working on that. Let's see. I struggle with attracting my tribe. I feel like I don't really know if my tribe would be a good coach. I'm a homeschooler too, so I homeschool my kids, and I don't know, are there any homeschooling coaches out there? I think I found like 2, and I'm like, that's what I post about a lot, but I'm like, wait a minute, are they really going to be into this business? So I really struggle with attracting my tribe. Another thing I struggle with is micromanaging. I used to be a property manager and real estate agent, and I micromanaged my maintenance men and my leasing agents. So I really constantly check in on my coaches and kind of have these expectations that, did you do your inviting today? Did you do your vitals? And I really need to step back and not do that, and instead just inspire and encourage and let them kind of lead themselves.
That's an entire topic right there. Micromanaging. That's something, because we got it. We can do it ourselves. Like you said, when we have this assignment, we put our head down, we get it done, and then we expect everybody else to do the same. So that we start micromanaging, and nobody likes to be micromanaged, but yet a lot of times that's how we lead people. So that's a great topic that we can definitely talk about. I circled that one. Thank you for talking about that. All right, Bouncing Sarah. You get to talk next.
Hello. I'm sorry if she's screaming. She's not in the best of moods today. Until you have a teething baby, you forget what having a teething baby's like. So I'm back in the trenches. Anyways, it's nice to meet all of you. I am coming up on year 4 of coaching in March. I was a high school business education teacher for 6 years, and then I was a high school principal for a year. So my background is in business education, but also in leadership. Okay. So my strength as a leader is definitely the teaching and the training piece. I love to make trainings. I love to host calls. That's totally my jam. But where I fall short as a leader is I'm very type A. So it's in my mind, it's all got to be me. And I don't even have an assistant right now, and I need to. I mean, what I'm doing is I'm in my mind, I quit teaching so I could stay home and be a mom. But being a mom and being a full-time working mom it's not the same thing. And I think we glamorize the business opportunity that we're all home with our kids working. And sometimes we don't put it out there that it's hard. And so what's happening is I'm wearing the mom hat all day long, and I'm have the baby at home, and I have a 5-year-old. And then when everybody goes to bed, I stay up until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I build the business. And so for me, balance is a struggle, and I could fix a lot of that with an assistant. So I just need help letting go of some of the reins. So that's it.
Yeah, I don't think spotlighting 3 a.m. messages is a fun thing to talk about with a lot of new people. But she does get the work done. I had a call with Sarah recently, and she as well is kicking butt, but she's putting her head down and making it work. So great stuff. Corinne.
Hi, everybody. I'm Corinne. I am in New York, Long Island, New York. I am a wife and mom of 2 kids, 9 and 6. They keep me really busy. I was a practicing occupational therapist in pediatrics, and I left my job in 2014 to coach full-time, and it's been wonderful, but I am going to be going back part-time soon. I'm just working on getting some continuing ed credits done. So probably within the next couple of months, I'll be reincorporating that, but not going anywhere with Beachbody. So as a leader, I guess my strengths are creating a team culture. Like a few of you said, I've gotten really close with a lot of people on my team, and we've gotten to know each other really well, where, you know, it's not just about Beachbody, but there's actual friendships there. We're like a family. Our husbands know each other and our kids, and that's all wonderful. And I love to listen to them and really, really obviously care about their success in all avenues with their health and fitness goals and their businesses, which again can also be a weakness, like a couple of you mentioned as well. Another strength I would say is consistency, but my consistency, if this makes any sense, isn't consistent. So I can be consistent in certain things regularly. Like I don't go a day without making sure I've connected with certain people. I don't go a day without making sure I checked in with my challenge groups. But then there can be days where I'm not at all organized. I can go days without sending like actual invites or things like that. So there's never a day where Beachbody isn't a part of my life, but there are days where there are certain things that should be consistent that are not. So I would say, like, when I made my list of my weaknesses, they all come around organization. So organizing systems for training, organizing onboarding systems for new coaches, organizing like my posts and what I'm going to be talking about for each week or each month, like what's coming up, because I feel like there's always so much freaking stuff going on. I can't keep track of what I should be posting about because I feel like I'm just like, just say nothing at all because there's too much to talk about. So that's pretty much it. I'm excited to get to know you guys and learn from you guys and rock 2018 together.
You know what's so fun about this is what's one person's strength is another person's weakness and vice versa. And we are going to have so much fun talking about these things. Especially Sarah just came off saying she loves trainings, loves that type of stuff. And then Corinne comes on and says, that's not my jam. So we are going to learn from each other, which is great. Denise, you are up next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Denise. I am from New York, but living in New Jersey. I'm a mom of 2 kids, a 9-year-old and almost 12. My former career was in social services, so I did case management and crisis intervention and worked with all different types of populations for many, many years. So I want to say that that's my strength. I'm really good at making connections with people and building trust. Really good at identifying my coach's strengths and really using that in terms of helping our team. I feel like I'm also very consistent. I'm also an OG. So I was a coach, signed up 2010, decided to work the business probably about 5 years ago. So that's my strength. The consistency is my strength. And I feel like I've stuck with this business regardless of the numerous setbacks that I've had, personal and with my team collapsing and coming back. I've stuck it through. On the other end of it, I feel like I expect that of my team. And when they're going through something, especially those that are doing this full time and really need this business, I'm expecting them to show up. And when they don't, that's really hard for me. It's really hard for me to kind of slow it down and say, okay, this is their business. And I'm learning. This is their business. And I really need to be with them where they're at. It doesn't matter what's going on in their life, but it's still kind of a struggle for me. Also, in terms of duplication, I feel like I can be structured and I love change. I love to learn about just different implementing different systems. And when something new is out, I want to apply it. But then that's on that end of it, I'm also like all over the place with that because it's so much. And I'm like, oh my God, this coach is doing this. Let me try that. Oh, this one's doing that. Let me do that. And then I just feel like I'm all over the place and I don't have a really good, solid, duplicatable system. Although I understand that it changes. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. And I think a lot of people are not in their heads in agreement with you because they fall into that same category. Last night my kids were watching some show and it was talking about how time changes everything. And we might finally figure things out and then time passes and then we are behind. So that's definitely something we can talk about. Thank you for bringing that up. Allie Dar, crying out loud, don't look at us. Are you driving? Can you talk? You all right?
Yeah, okay, I'm driving in a parking lot that nobody's in because my son's crying. So that is what I'm doing. So don't worry about me if I'm moving. Nobody. Anyways, I am Allie Czar. I am a mom to 5. I have a 5-week-old who's obviously really angry right now, and he's just gonna have to cry a little bit. So my strength as a coach is being just consistent in my own business. I'm always leading from the front, no matter if I'm pregnant, postpartum, all of that stuff. I'm always showing my team what's possible. And then on the flip side, I expect them to do the same. So a lot of my weaknesses are does that make sense? My strengths? I don't know. Like I expect everybody to do what I'm doing in showing up, kind of like you guys said. And then another strength of mine is, being positive all the time in my team page, always giving them what's working. And sometimes I think I give them too much. I'm too nice sometimes. And then I just am expecting them to run with whatever I'm telling them to run with. And when I ask them, follow a program, get in the challenge group, I expect them to be showing up. And they're not. And I think my weakness is like trying to be okay with that and not getting like frustrated that maybe that's not their focus. So I think I just struggle with thinking everybody's going to just show up no matter what they're going through in their life. So like it's the same thing as a lot of you guys. But it's easy for me to show up. I don't know. It's just so weird. So I think my strength is also my weakness in expecting that of other people.
Yep, I was going to say that towards the end. A lot of times a lot of you are saying that you're strength and you're very much linking that to your weakness, which is kind of funny. So Allie's great. Her and I have been chatting for a while. She kind of has had a great turnaround, kind of took the last bit of 2017 to regroup and refresh, and she has a total new outlook on 2018. I'm very excited for her to talk about that a little bit later. All right, Megan, you are next.
Hey guys, my name's Megan Pope, and I just recently moved into this region. We just moved to Ohio from Lexington, Kentucky, and I've heard so many similar things already that resonate with me. I've been a coach for 3 years. I have 4 children. They're 6 and under. I work full time as well for a market research firm. I'm actually sitting outside. I have to go in and moderate in just a second some focus groups. And my strengths really are consistency, work ethic. I signed up as a coach that was just a discount coach that was never going to work the business. And I'm on the inside of a dead leg, and I, within 2 weeks, decided, oh my gosh, I could do this, and I think I could do well at this, and I've never slowed down. So I'm super consistent. I honestly believe personal development has just radically changed my life, so I'm incredibly positive. And another one of my strengths is really going through that vital process. 99% of my coaches are challengers first. And so that's a really big strength of mine. On the same token, I feel like that leads to a lot of indecisiveness and wishy-washiness with wanting to build the business, because they really become a lifer and they want to be a coach for the discount opportunity. And then they're like, maybe down the road I'll work the business. And I think I struggle with onboarding coaches in a way to get them acclimated to the business more quickly, you know, and I think it stems from an effort of not wanting to be pushy. Like I just never want to put that pressure on them that I'm actually not leading the way that I could or that I should. And I think it was Kaylee that mentioned, I really do wonder if I struggle with attracting like my tribe, because I have 4 small kids. I've done this through 2 pregnancies, through 2 postpartums, a move. My husband was out of state for an entire year, and I've had a lot of success. And I'm like, there's got to be other hardworking women like me out there, and I keep attracting all of these people that want to be coddled. And what am I saying? That's so different than how I show up. So that's something I would really, really like to work on in my life. And in my coaching life. And somebody else said something, oh my gosh, and I used to be a teacher years and years ago as a high school English teacher, but I let the training side of things totally overwhelm me completely. So I think that I either give them way too much information or I just give them no information. And I've got to make this duplicable and find a common ground, because I'm an example of somebody that took it all and ran with it. So I know that it's possible, but I feel like I'm missing that I don't know, I'm just missing that part. So I'm really excited to work with you guys and get to know you guys better.
We will solve the world's problems right here. I think that right there was a perfect, I think a lot of people connected with that, with what you said. And I'm not skipping over Lindsay. Lindsay messaged me. She's a little bit down. She's feeling ill today, so she's just hopping on to watch. So we'll get to know her on our next call. I think that's everybody. Let me just quickly review some things. And this, for you who were on my first, on our last mastermind group, this will be a little bit of a repeat. But, you know, what I'm hearing from a lot of you is you're either, well, it comes down to 2 things. To me, leadership, in this book I read a little while ago, talked about it this way as well. A lot of people think that bottom line dollars is the number one thing. Getting people to move, getting people to act. Action is what leaders get people to do. But the book suggests that those people are actually called managers. And on the flip side of the coin, they talk about how team culture and the people and the relationships are the most important thing, and that's what leadership is. Well, the book suggests that those are actually mentors. He said that the book suggests that a leader is the best combination of management and mentorship. And knowing how to push people when they need to be pushed, and knowing when to pretty much give a hug when they need a hug. And it's not the same. You don't talk to somebody the exact same way that you do to somebody else. It's a very much an individual basis. And that's why I'm stressing so much in this group is we need to know how to talk to different people and get them to act. Going off of Megan's comment just a little bit earlier, finding people just like you can happen. But I don't think that's a leadership skill. I think that's a finding skill. To me, leadership is taking the people you currently have and turning them in to people who eventually turn out to be like you in many aspects. And so instead of saying, well, how do I find the right people? We can talk about acquisition. That's not a problem. I don't mind talking about that. But to me, it's more, how do I take the people I currently have and get them to see the possibilities that are in front of them? You see the possibilities for them. You see what's in front of them, but they need to go through a systematic experience before they go, oh, I get it now. This is something I want to do. And that's what leadership is. It's helping them see what is possible for them. And so creating those experiences is something that a leadership does. And knowing them, on the mentorship side, it's absolutely knowing them. It's absolutely building that relationship and having those one-on-ones and getting to know their kids and their husbands and whatever it may be. That's definitely part of it because there's that trust level. That's going to be one of our topics, is the importance of trust. And on the flip side of that, you can't grow a business by giving hugs. Somebody's going to quote me on that. You need to eventually work. And work is tough. 80-day obsession, let me tell you, 80-day obsession, day 1 through whatever, the first week, that was easy. Pressing play was easy. Everybody was commenting in the group. Everybody was doing it. Now that we're starting phase 2, well, we're almost into phase 2, the excitement's not as fresh. So then how do you take those people and work with them? How do you get them to get back up? This is where leadership comes in. Motivation, inspiration, good feelings is not something that leadership does. That's a motivator. It's taking somebody and getting them to work. So I'm very excited about this group. Yeah, I think we're going to have a lot of connections, a lot of great conversations. So this will be an every 2-week group. Our call will be every 2 weeks. So 2 weeks from today is when we'll do this. And then I'm going to kind of compile this, and then I'm going to come up with some topics, and then I'm going to give out the homework assignment before our next call. In the meantime, please, and this is something that worked in the past, please be active on our group page. If you have a question, get in the group, ask it. If you have a leadership thought, get in there, post it. If you have something that's actually working for you and you think other people in this group would benefit from, don't be shy. Put it in there, post it. This is, yes, the only way we get better is by sharing and asking questions and all those good things. If this is simply rely on Kevin, I'm not that good. We're not going to be that great at the end of our before summit. This is going to work because you guys make it work. So very excited. This was perfect. Thank you so much for jumping on. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Until then, keep leading strong. Thanks, guys.